Okay, so let's get into the specific battleground for today. We're tackling round one, group 201, and it sounds like a really mixed bag.
It's a fascinating group, yeah, because the contenders are just so different. Really highlights the randomness.
Lay them out for us. Who's in the ring?
Okay, first up, you've got a modern heavyweight, 25 by Adele.
Right, huge album.
Then something completely different, the piano tribute to Iron Maiden by Lavender.
A piano tribute to Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Then a true classic act, the Ultimate Collection by Eurythmics.
Ah, now we're talking.
And finally, the sort of wild card entry, love songs, a compilation album, various artists.
Wow, okay. Adele, Eurythmics, a 90s love song compilation, and Piano Maiden. That is quite the lineup, a proper musical cage match.
Definitely. So our job here is to figure out why the two that survived actually made it through. Because, spoiler alert, Eurythmics and the Love Songs compilation are the ones that advanced.
Correct, which means Adele and the Maiden tribute got the chop.
Let's start at the bottom then. The first casualty, 4th place.
That would be the most, let's say, conceptually ambitious one, the piano tribute to Iron Maiden.
I have to admit, the idea, it sounds kind of amazing on paper, doesn't it? A grand piano tackling Iron Maiden, epic.
It sounds epic, the potential drama, the bombast. You can see why someone would try it. It feels like it should be, I don't know, magnificent.
But it wasn't.
Well, the review cuts right to the chase, calls it novelty at best, and that's probably being kind.
Oof. Why? What's the core problem?
It comes down to this inherent mismatch, really. The source calls it the big ask. You're asking one instrument, the piano, to do the work of a whole, very complex band.
Okay, let's dig into that big ask, because Iron Maiden's sound isn't simple, is it? Not at all. It's built on layers. You've got that signature guitar sound, usually 2, sometimes 3 guitars playing these intricate harmonized lines. They weave around each other.
Right, the twin guitar attack. It's not just power chord.
Exactly. It's melodic counterpoint, really complex stuff. Then you've got Steve Harris on bass. His bass lines are almost like lead melodies themselves, really driving that famous galloping rhythm.
And the drums, of course.
Yeah.
Nicko McBrain's drumming is iconic.
Absolutely. That relentless, powerful drumming underneath it all. It's a 7-piece machine creating this dense, textured, powerful sound.
So trying to cram all of that, the harmonies, the lead bass, the driving rhythm, the solos, into just a piano.
It's asking too much. The piano just can't convey the same effect. It can play the notes, sure, but the texture, the interplay between the instruments, the sheer percussive force, it gets lost.
How did the pianist Scott Lavender actually try to do it?
Well, according to the review, he uses these rapid flurries to try and mimic the guitar solos. Lots of notes, very fast.
Technically impressive, I imagine.
Oh, undoubtedly. The review is clear on that. It praises his wonderful piano playing. The technical skill isn't the issue here. He's clearly a very talented pianist.
So it's not about his playing, it's about the concept itself being flawed.
Exactly. The ambition is huge, you have to admire that. But the end result, well, the complex arrangements just feel a bit thin, maybe, diminished. The review suggests it only really works in short bursts.
Like the novelty wears off quickly.
Pretty much. You hear it, think, Piano Maiden. Maybe appreciate the skill for a minute. But listening to a full 5-minute track interpreted that way, it apparently becomes a bit of a slog. Arrangement fatigue, the review calls it.
Okay, so this Album Quest methodology, it values the final product over the ambition then, even if the ambition involves incredible technical difficulty.
That seems to be the case here, yeah. It's about the listening experience. Does it work as an album? And trying to achieve iron equality with just a piano was seen as a fruitless pursuit.
So the very difficulty he tackled almost worked against him because it highlighted what was missing.
That's a good way of putting it. It draws attention to the gap between the original and the interpretation.
Could it have worked better somehow? Did the reviewer suggest anything?
Yeah, there was a suggestion. Instead of trying full-length, note-for-note versions of these epic tracks, maybe shorten them.
Like little snippets.
Exactly. Swallow-sized chunks was the phrase used. Or perhaps stringing parts together in medleys.
Ah, okay, so you get the flavor, the cleverness, without overstaying the welcome.
Right. That way you appreciate the novelty and the skill, but you don't get bogged down in an interpretation that ultimately can't capture the original's power. As it stands, trying to replicate the whole thing made it an easy cut in this group.
Makes sense. Novelty has its limits. Okay, so from that conceptual challenge, we move up to third place. And this one feels like a bigger shock, maybe. Adele's 25.
Yeah, this is definitely where expectations meet reality, I suppose. It's a huge name, a massive seller.
And the review had a pretty witty summary for it, didn't it?
It did. 25 problems, but a vocal pitch ain't one, which, perfectly captures it.
Meaning the voice is flawless, but there are other issues.
Precisely. No one's questioning Adele's vocal talent. She's technically brilliant, but the album itself maybe didn't quite hit the mark for this reviewer.
Now, 25 was the third part of her age-titled albums, right? Following 19 and the absolute monster that was 21.
Correct. And the style is pretty familiar. A lot of it is, as the review says, a fairly stripped-down affair.
Mostly just Adele and a piano.
Yeah, piano, her voice, maybe some strings tucked in here and there, a bit of subtle backing. It's very focused on her.
Which puts a lot of pressure on the songs themselves, I guess, if the arrangement is minimal.
Exactly. There's nowhere to hide. If a melody isn't absolutely top-notch, or if a lyric feels a bit weak, it's really exposed when it's just voice and piano.
Unlike, say, the Eurythmics stuff we'll get to, where the production adds so much texture.
Right. With denser production, a slightly less stellar melody can sometimes be carried by the arrangement, the sounds, the rhythm. Here, it's all on Adele and the song. And the reviewer felt that sometimes. It felt a little drab in places.
Drab. Ouch. Is that mainly in comparison to 21? Because that album was such a phenomenon.
That's definitely part of it. The comparison is unavoidable. The review states clearly it doesn't compare to the excellent predecessor 21. 21 just captured a moment, didn't it? Raw heartbreak, massive anthems.
It really did.
Interestingly, the reviewer found 25 felt more like her debut, 19.
Oh, really?
Yeah, similar in tone, maybe scope, but then added that it was possibly even weaker than that debut.
Wow. So maybe the pressure of following up 21 led to something a bit safer, less intense.
Could be. Trying to navigate that massive success is tough for any artist. Maybe pulling back slightly on the raw emotion made it feel less vital.
But it starts incredibly strongly, doesn't it? I mean, Hello.
Oh, absolutely. Hello is immense. It's a fantastic single. It shows everything she does best, that incredible vocal range and control, the dynamics from quiet intimacy to that huge chorus. It felt fresh but classic.
Yeah, you hear Hello and you think, okay, here we go again, another masterpiece.
Exactly. It sets the bar incredibly high right at the start.
But then, does it maintain that level?
Apparently not. According to the source, the very next track is where it comes off the track a little.
Which track was that?
Send My Love to Your New Lover. And the critique is pretty specific. It mentions a weird calypso soul-esque rhythm.
Calypso?
Yeah.
On an Adele album?
Yeah, seems like an odd choice. But the killer part of the critique was atop an unforgettable melody.
Unforgettable, you mean?
Forgettable.
I think that's the stinging implication, yes. That the melody itself was bland, and the weird rhythm just made it stand out for the wrong reasons.
That does sound like a misstep. Trying to inject something maybe a bit more modern pop rhythmically, but it clashes with her core strength.
That seems to be the analysis. Adele excels at that timeless, often quite melancholic emotional delivery, throwing in a sort of forced, upbeat, slightly unusual rhythm. It risks breaking the spell.
Especially after the pure emotional power of, hello, you're settled in for one thing and then you get calypso soul.
It damages the flow, the credibility maybe, right at the start. So even though the album presumably recovers from that one track, the overall feeling was one of inconsistency, dragging in places.
That's the takeaway. That drabness seems to come from maybe too many tracks feeling similar in tempo and arrangement, the voice and piano thing, without every single song being a knockout.
Listener fatigue.
Possibly. When the sound palette is minimal, each song has to justify itself with killer melody or lyric. If some tracks feel a bit like filler, you really notice it. And filler is deadly in this kind of album quest.
So maybe it should have been shorter. Or just needed a higher hit rate across the board.
Probably a bit of both. But it wasn't all bad, apparently. The review does point out some definite highlights.
Okay, good. What were they?
3 tracks get specific praise. When We Were Young, a Million Years Ago, and River Lee.
When We Were Young is a fantastic song. Very much in that classic Adele mode.
Exactly. It's seen as recapturing some of that 21 emotional weight. These tracks show she can still absolutely deliver those moments, using that stripped-back format beautifully.
But those few highlights weren't enough to save it overall.
Not in this group, against this competition. The final verdict was that 25, despite its strengths, trod precariously close to disappointment, especially judged by the high bar she'd set herself.
A Titan falls and gets beaten by a compilation album. That feels counterintuitive.
It does, doesn't it? But yes, coming in second place, pushing Adele to third, and booking its ticket to round 2, the Love Songs compilation.
Okay, how does that work? How does a collection of old songs, potentially from different artists, different sounds, beat an original album by Adele?
Well, the strength seems to be in the curation and the era it represents. The review calls it largely a 90s affair.
Ah, the nostalgia factor.
Definitely plays a part. But it's also that the songs chosen were, quote, superb pop songs from that time. They apparently blend well together, creating an enjoyable, albeit slushy, compilation.
Slushy.
Yeah. I mean, it's love songs, right? But the key is consistency through quality. These weren't album tracks. These are mostly big hits. Songs people already knew and loved.
So it's leveraging accumulated goodwill almost.
Yeah.
What kind of tracks are we talking about?
It's a real snapshot of that 90s soft pop ballad sound. Think High by Lighthouse Family.
Okay.
Crushed by Jennifer Page.
Catchy.
You're Still the One by Shania Twain.
Huge.
Take That's cover of How Deep Is Your Love. Leanne Rimes' How Do I Live?
Right, okay. Big radio hits. Very earnest.
Earnest, maybe slushy, but undeniably well-crafted pop songs for their time. They deliver exactly what they promise. Consistency again.
But hang on, you said mostly 90s. Were there odd ones out? And surely a compilation like this must have some duds. Adele had highs and lows, but this must too.
Good point. There were a couple of anomalies mentioned. One was stylistic, the random appearance of Hall & Oates' She's Gone, which is early 70s soul, not 90s pop.
Bit of a vibe shift there.
A little jarring, perhaps, but the real issue, the one potential killer, was one specific track flagged as truly awful.
Worse than Adele's Calypso experiment.
Apparently so. The review calls it excruciatingly bad.
Wow. Okay, what was it?
A track called Even After All by Finley Quaye.
Finley Quaye. I remember Sunday Shining. This wasn't that.
No, definitely not. This one is described as a kind of quasi-reggae-rap talking pop tune which fails on all levels.
Oof. That sounds messy. Quasi-reggae, rapping, and talking on a love songs compilation.
Exactly. It sounds like a real identity crisis in a song. Trying to blend too many things, probably none of them very well, and completely breaking the smooth, albeit slushy, mood of the rest of the album.
So how did the compilation survive that if consistency is so important? Adele gets dinged for inconsistency, but this compilation has an excruciatingly bad track and still comes second.
It's a fascinating point about the scoring, isn't it? It suggests the overall average quality was still high enough. Think about it. Maybe 18 or 19 genuinely solid, well-loved hits versus one absolute stinker.
Right, whereas Adele had maybe 3 or 4 absolute blinders, but then several tracks that were just okay, or even weak, like Send My Love.
Exactly. The average level of the compilation, despite that one disaster, might have been higher than the average level of 25. The hits just carried that much weight.
Were there any tracks on the compilation that were seen as more than just solid 90s pop, real classics?
Yes, absolutely. That's what really cemented its high ranking, according to the review. These were the tracks that provided the saving grace.
Go on.
We're talking about I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders.
Okay, timeless anthem.
Paul Weller's You Do Something to Me.
Beautiful song.
And the absolute emotional centerpiece, Sinead O'Connor's cover of Prince's Nothing Compares to You.
Ah, well, yeah, that's just iconic, a masterpiece of performance.
Right. The review calls it magnificent. Having those 3 tracks alone, Pretenders, Weller, O'Connor, lifts the whole compilation massively. That level of quality, that emotional resonance, it's huge.
So the combined weight of those certified classics, plus the general pleasantness of the other 90s hits, was enough to outweigh the Finley Quaye disaster and edge out Adele's inconsistent original work.
That's the logic. Proven hits, strategically compiled, can beat star power if that star power comes with dips in quality. It's a surprising result, but you can see the reasoning within the Quest's framework.
Okay, a lesson in the power of the greatest hit. Which brings us finally to the winner, the number 1 for Group 201.
The clear victor, the one that apparently sailed through.
Let's hear it for the Eurythmics Ultimate Collection.
Yes, and the praise here is pretty unambiguous. Sweet dreams indeed prevailed, as you said.
The review called it supreme.
Supreme collection of high-quality pop-rock new wave songs. That's the description. It seems like this collection just hit on all cylinders.
So what sets it apart? Why did it dominate this eclectic group so easily? Is it just 80s nostalgia again, like the 90s one for love songs?
There's probably an element of that, sure. But the analysis goes much deeper. It points to genuine musical and technical superiority. real inventiveness and consistent quality in the actual music itself.
Okay, tell me more about that. What made them so good?
It wasn't just about catchy tunes, though they had plenty of those brilliant melodies gets mentioned. It was also about everything else happening around the melodies.
Like the production.
Exactly. All the little licks and riffs bouncing around them, the synth sounds, the arrangements, the textures. The production and the musicianship are described as top dollar.
Dave Stewart's work, mainly.
Primarily Dave Stewart, yeah. He and Annie Lennox together, they really defined a sound for a big chunk of the 80s. The review calls them one of the defining bands of that decade.
And this collection is the best representation of that.
The clear apotheosis of this group is the exact phrase. Yes, this is peak Eurythmics track after track.
Let's talk about that sound. 80s new wave synths. What made the Eurythmics sound stand out? What was Stewart doing?
He was really clever with blending technology and songwriting, using early sequencers, drum machines, those distinctive analog synth sounds, but making it sound sleek, sometimes soulful, sometimes quite cold and atmospheric, but always musical.
It wasn't just technology for its own sake.
Not at all. Think of Sweet Dreams. That synth riff is iconic, right? Deceptively simple, but the sound of it, the precise sequenced rhythm, it creates this whole mood. It's sparse but powerful.
Yeah, it doesn't sound cluttered.
No, he used space really well. Unlike maybe the Maiden approach of layering everything, Stewart often used precision-placed sounds. That's partly why it still sounds quite modern, not just a relic of the 80s. It sounds intentional.
That level of detail in the production, that adds a layer of quality that maybe the simpler Adele arrangements lacked when the core song wasn't perfect.
That's a fair comparison, I think. Stewart's production provides this rich, inventive bedrock. But then, of course, you have Annie Lennox delivering the songs.
The voice and the presence. She wasn't just a singer, was she?
No, far from it. The review highlights her theatrical and powerful vocals and says that combined with the music, they pushed the envelope at times.
How so?
Well, visually, obviously. She played with androgyny and image in a way that was quite groundbreaking for the mainstream. But vocally, too, she wasn't just hitting the notes. She inhabited the songs, conveyed so much character and emotion.
Can we pinpoint some examples from the collection where her vocals really shine, according to the review?
Definitely. It mentions the backing vocals on There Must Be an Angel, Playing With My Heart.
Stevie Wonder on harmonica on that one, too, right?
That's the one. But her multi-tracked harmonies are singled out as a fantastic demonstration of vocal range. Just technically superb, complex, yet beautiful.
So musical complexity complementing the production complexity.
Yes. And then there's her ability to change style. The review mentions the incisive and playful style on I Need a Man.
Which is quite different, more rock-edged.
Exactly. She could do the vulnerable ballad, but also this tougher, almost swaggering delivery. That versatility is key.
Any other tracks highlighted for her vocals?
Yeah, it points to her masterful craft on tracks like Thorn in My Side, Here Comes the Rain Again, and It's All Right, Baby's Coming Back. Just consistent excellence across different moods and styles.
It sounds like the reviewer basically saw her as untouchable during this period.
Pretty much. The conclusion is quite something. Annie Lennox is described as a female vocalist and songwriter at the very top of her game, and probably anyone else's.
Oh, high praise indeed.
Extremely high. So you put that level of vocal performance and songwriting consistently across a whole collection.
On top of Dave Stewart's innovative and detailed production.
And you get an album that's just incredibly hard to fault, especially in a comparative ranking like this. It has the hits, it has the depth, it has the consistency.
Stewart gets his due as well, though. Not just as the producer.
Oh, yes. While Lennox is the mouthpiece, the review explicitly credits Stewart as the artistic force behind the creation and production of the songs. And adds, almost as an aside, not a bad guitarist either.
Right, he did play guitar too.
So his multifaceted role is fully acknowledged. It was a true partnership, and this collection captures that magic.
It makes the Eurythmics win seem almost inevitable done in this context. Layers of quality just beating everything else.
Based on this analysis, yes. It seems like it had the fewest weaknesses and the most consistent strengths.
Okay, let's wrap this quest up then. Time for the final official tally for round 1, Group 201.
Let's do it. So, in 4th place, eliminated first, the ambitious but flawed piano tribute to Iron Maiden by Scott Lavender.
A valiant effort, perhaps, but ultimately a mismatch.
Then in 3rd place, also eliminated, the contemporary superstar undone by inconsistency, 25 by Adele.
Great voice, some great songs, but not quite enough across the board compared to the competition.
Moving on to round 2, in 2nd place, the surprise contender, the Love Songs compilation.
Saved by the sheer weight of those classic 90s tracks and a few timeless gems, despite a notable clunker.
And the winner, progressing comfortably to round 2. Number 1 is the Ultimate Collection by Eurythmics.
A victory built on consistent innovation, stellar songwriting, masterful production, and legendary vocals.
Absolutely. And this specific outcome, this group, it really tells you something about the album quest itself, doesn't it?
What's the main takeaway for you?
It's a clear lesson that sheer star power or sales figures aren't enough. Adele is huge, 25 sold massively, but in this head-to-head judged on track-by-track quality and consistency.
It lost out to a 90s compilation.
Exactly, because that compilation, despite being slushy and having one dud, delivered a higher average of what the reviewer considered essential quality listening moments. The baseline was higher.
And the Eurythmics collection just operated on another level entirely.
It seems so. That combination of consistent creativity from Stewart and Lennox just created a catalog that's incredibly robust. It highlights how vulnerable an original album, even by a great artist, can be if it has weak spots.
Consistency, innovation, and just undeniable quality track after track. Those seem to be the winning ingredients in this quest.